Hello there. Excuse me, it's Anya Divine here. You might have tuned in yesterday and saw me starting these pictures of the gerbera that I bought in the shop yesterday, oranges and reds. And I'm probably not going to do an awful lot more, but just wanted you to see what happened after. And also, I was hoping you could see the flowers as well there. They're there. Windowsill. And Maisie is down below us here, but I'll not disturb the screen anymore. So really I just thought I was about to do a few more things to, this is kind of a brighter one, I don't know if I'm going to do any more to that. It was good fun playing with that last night, but I thought I might do a little bit more here. It was just I just stuck on some paper on the edge there, and I thought, oh, maybe I could draw out a little bit more, extend out into the white a little bit more here. Now I'm about to take who on a WALK, so I'm not going to stay on long here. Really, it is just what I wanted to do really was to inject maybe a little bit of brightness to, and the opportunity is there with the white paper underneath. The opportunity is there to create that lovely sunlit. You remember yesterday it was in the afternoon when I was painting this, and I had missed the morning light shining through the gerbera out exterior petals. They were so bright in the morning light, and so it's nice now to be here sitting in the morning light again and painting them, just bringing a little bit of the flavour of that into the picture. I ended up staying up quite late last night when I think about it. I was doing a bit of just colourful play, I think it sometimes happens me, now that I think about that, it sometimes happens me that after a couple of days, or after, it was really just one day of feeling a bit low in myself, after that I sometimes end up doing fairly vibrant, colourful things. It seems to have an effect, on what happens after. So sometimes I'm almost able now to recognize that during, like in the midst of it, that I'll be quite, that it means that it's like almost like a sign that there's colour coming, in the midst of the greyness. And that's what happens. And I think this is actually one of the things that shifts that. Sometimes it just needs to be experienced, though. You can't shift stuff all the time, and wouldn't want to shift it too quickly anyway. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to do any more actually. This was the thing I thought might be quite nice would be some of that same brightness that's out there to be incorporated in to the petals in the center there. And so I feel like what I want to do is let this dry, tear it off, and stick it on for some of those bright petals in the center. You can imagine it being nice and bright there. I'd say you're probably bleached out altogether with the sun, but I didn't want to, I want the sun to be a feature here. Maybe you can't see a thing, but it's good to just tap in with you. I just wanted to say hello today, really, and to share a bit of my joy for this whole colourful thing. Maybe I could extend some blues out there, seeing as I'm expanding into the paper above as well. You know what, I don't really want to do that. What was I going to say to you? I've just come back there from Gladhouse Reservoir from a swim, and it was lovely. Yesterday I was talking about the brightness of the sun on the water. it was shining brighter than I've ever seen it today. And I felt like I was drinking it in. It was lovely. So there we have it. Right, I'll put some glue on here. And like, you know, the paper is still wet now where the ink is, but I think I might be able to just tear it now and let it sit on the surface and dry. You know, it's a bit impatient, isn't it, working that way, but sometimes it's what's called for. I'm just going to stick it on as it's wet, and I can make a bit more sense of it maybe later on, if need be. It might be bright enough as it is, and it might just be okay for the bits to be, you know, just torn and wetly stuck on. Take a bit of glue from there for that bit. And I'm kind of all right too with it being, with the bits standing out in relief. In fact, I think that's appropriate for some of these bits not to be completely flush with the surface, in the same way as the flower petals themselves stand out in relief into the light. Okay. Just giving a small bit of a feel for the direction of the petals as I'm putting them on. I've got an article to write on mixed media flowers actually, so I suppose I could have taken some photos of this one as it was happening. But anyway, I'll have the end picture, because it's fairly different from the other one that I did for the article, which was more blues, and I was in the midst of my grey period, I think, then, but it's fine, it still came out colourful. And you know, I've got this fluorescent paint as well. Might as well stick a bit of that on for a couple of those petals too. But I'm not really looking at the picture so much, or looking at the flowers so much anymore. It's more the feeling that they give me, that I'm aiming to clarify with colour here. There's a bit of a departure from observed painting today and yesterday, and into more, as I say, more capturing the feeling of the thing, which is quite a joy as well. At least that's what I was doing last night with this other painting in my, this other painting here, you know. I was just sitting at the table last night doing that up until midnight, and what happened was I started just injecting whatever colours I wanted to into the mix. So the blue is alcohol ink in between the flowers there. Sorry if that was annoying, if you can't really see it. But this is good medicine sitting in this sunshine. And Maisie's settled down a little bit, so I've got a wee bit of leeway here. Just bridging that gap a little bit. Do you know, when I first started here, my intention was to just use the stick and to draw some fine lines. I suppose I can still do that. And I'll bring you a bit closer once I finish here so that you can see what I'm up to, if it's not possible to see just now. This is the fluorescent pink, and the fluorescent orange, of course, is already there. I'm just going to pull some of those drips so that they create petals themselves. Thinly drawn petals. It's quite a nice thing to pull ink around the place. especially when it does actually flow with you. Sometimes it's difficult to get it to flow. But there is a kind of a stop-start thing that almost is quite nice anyway, because you then don't know what the line is going to really look like. The lost and found carry-on that happens. No, I don't know if I would be foolish to do this, but I feel like I want to put some dark outlines. Yeah, using the black ink. Not sure. I'll try it in one here, just to give some bit of clarity to the flowers that are in the centre, now that there's been a little bit more explaining of the ones out at the edge there. And if I had a dark red, that might be more appropriate. I think I do have a dark red ink. That's finished. Let's see how this works. More deep than dark, but I quite like the colour of it. Put some here as well. You know, it's quite a bit darker than the fluorescent oranges anyway, and the fluorescent pink. There's my belly rumbling. You know, yesterday I made myself some scones and had my mum's blackberry jam and some cream with them, and that was really lovely. And there's some left, so after I've walked Maisie I might end up having some more today, and then I'm going to depart out to the studio in the garden, and I'll do a bit of that article and finish off. I have a commission that I'm finishing off as well. I just did yoga for focus there. Focus and creativity, which is exactly the thing that I'm and you know, I feel like I am feeling quite focused. It's been a while since I've done any yoga because I injured my ribs in Ireland, and I haven't felt confident enough to stretch and pull at them. So this was my first week really, yesterday and today, getting back into doing the regular yoga morning, and it's very welcome, again for mental health reasons really, and for breathing more than you know, the exercise part, but actually that's quite good too, isn't it? Just any sort of movement I think helps. And I think if any of you get my newsletter, I'll be writing that today as well, I think. So it's a fairly full day today if I get around to doing those things. Plenty going on, as my therapist used to say. Plenty of time and plenty of things to do. So I'm going to stick with that. I've got plenty of time and plenty of things to do, because I suppose sure we might as well gain some joy in the actual process of doing the thing, because it's all about it. It's pretty much, it's a very short space when you get to hit send, you know, so I might as well enjoy all the stuff up to that, and there's only a small space too where everything is as you kind of think it should be in life, isn't it? And actually we can be happy without it all having to be just right, says she, who you know yourself now. I sometimes really struggle with that, but there are times when it comes very clear to me and I know the truth of it, that we don't have to wait for everything to be just right in life to feel contentment, satisfaction. I was listening to a video yesterday and it reminded me of a quote by Nisargadatta or something. I'm not sure exactly the name of the man, but he was an Indian It was an Indian guru kind of, and he said, something to do with peace being the rigorous refusal to harbour thoughts. But it seems to me like it's a fairly ongoing process, isn't it? That whole thing of not believing your thoughts. Okay. I don't know if I'm saying anything new here. So, as in the painting. Probably as I'm speaking as well. But I'm happy to have done a little touch more to it. And it's been good to connect with you. And hear my belly rumbling again. And I'll show you it this time. I'm going to just lift it up a bit closer, rather than try and move you down to see it. No, the curtain is in the way there. The shadow of the curtain is coming across. So that's it. I'll just bring all of it up into the light gradually. And there are the wavy bits of collage at the bottom. So that's that one. And then the other one. That's dry enough now, so... Well, actually, did I put a new bit on? No, I didn't. Okay, so that's that one last night. It's just really quite a lot of fun, you know. Felt nice to play and get my hands dirty. And then I had to make sure that I stopped before it got really late in the day, because sometimes it can kind of go on until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's not good either. You know, now and then it's all right, but really generally I think it's better for me to recognize when it's time to stop as well. Like, where are the flowers there, see? And is Maisie there? I don't know where she's gone. Oh, she's out in the hall. She's waiting for me. Okay. All right, lots of love. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow, Livy.